We are presenting part 1, Magic, of the play Freaks. The slide shows an image of stained glass windows against a dark window frame. Holy people are painted on the glass. In the play, we are in a medieval cathedral, an altar or shrine. Sister Elizabeth is strapped to a reclining board, which is propped up. Crude wooden crutches are attached to her display. Sister Elizabeth is obviously disabled with no movement in her legs and very limited arm movement. She is enshrined as if she were the central religious icon of the altar. She is holy card beautiful in her flowing white robes, and the entire tableau is illuminated by the glow from a bank of votive lights in front of her. Hanging on the back of lights are luxury items, golden goblets, silver plates, crowns, and jewels, offerings left by worshippers. In front of these items is a brass bowl of coins on the floor. A penitent in rich medieval clothing enters, bows towards Sister Elizabeth, and empties a sack of shimmering gold coins into the brass bowls. He stands a few feet from Sister Elizabeth's altar. The slide shows a decrepit church with rows of chairs, a window in the distance giving off minimal light.
Look at me. Look, I see you. I know you. Your sufferings, your hopes, your fears. I know your longings. Come here.
The penitent approaches slowly, as if hypnotized, and kneels.
Yes, don't be afraid. Look at me. Look at my poor withered limbs. You want to touch me, don't you? Come closer, and the light will come to you.
The penitent reaches up to touch the hand or foot of Sister Elizabeth. The exposed flesh should appear almost lifeless, like one of the wax body parts left as offerings at saint shrines in Roman Catholic cathedrals. As he touches her, the penitent lets out a cry of relief, somewhere between a nervous giggle and a shout of release.
Good. Take strength from my weakness. Take comfort from my tears. Give me your pain and rejoice in the spirit. Now you can light the candle.
The penitent begins to light one of the votive candles, but is interrupted by the sound of a shouting mob, barking dogs, the cathedral door slamming shut. A wild man enters, roaring. He wears beggar's rags and a wild wig. The penitent runs out in fear. Wild man circles Sister Elizabeth.
What is it? What dogs of hell are trapped into your body?
The slide shows Roman characters picture with a figure of a wild man standing in the middle of them. Wild man approaches, but only succeeds in blowing out some of the votive lights.
Take care. These are God's candles. These are the hopes and fears of human souls.
Wild man, still vocalizing, blows out more candles.
The devil has your throat. Let me help you. Let the light come. Let it come.
Wild man accidentally overturns the bowl of money.
You want the money? Go ahead. I don't need the money. You need it, take it. It means nothing to me. People leave it because they think it saves them. It protects them. But it's the light in their faces. That's what's so beautiful. They leave their guilt and fear with me. I burn through their guilt and fear. And the light comes.
Wild man stares at Sister Elizabeth.
Come, Rich, closer. Come out of the darkness. Look at me. Look at me. You want to touch me, don't you?
Wild man looks at her, calm now.
I know you. You want some sweetness. You want someone to touch you. You're hungry, I know. I feel with your skin. Don't despair. There's hope. Come here.
He touches her awkwardly.
Light a candle. One candle and the light will come to you. And you will know comfort and peace. Just light the candle.
Wild Man tries to light a candle.
Light it. Go ahead. That's it. Can you light the candle? Good. Light it. Light the candle.
He struggles with the candle.
Light the fucking candle.
Wild Man backs away from her.
Go away. The devil still controls you.
She rings a bell. Father John enters.
Yes, Sister Elizabeth, beloved of the Lord. What is this thing? What horrible perversity has brought forth this beast?
Who sent this man or his parents that he's so cruelly formed?
This hasn't happened to him because he has sinned, or his parents.
But that in him God's work should be displayed.
Wild Man moves toward her.
Back to the streets, you monster. Filthy thing. You dirty this place. Back to the streets. You won't last long.
You must understand, I need someone to light the candles.
Wild Man exits and another penitent comes in.
Yes, don't be afraid. Look at me. I can see you. I know you. I know your hopes and fears. You want to touch me, don't you? Come, light a candle. Come closer, and the light will come to you.
Beware, careless souls. I saw with mine own eyes the marks of their tongues upon his mangled tongue. The devil's slaves had silenced the beast so he would not reveal their master's secrets. These are the same devils that roar in the deaf man's ears so he cannot hear the words of light. These are the same darknesses that curl inside the hunchback's burden. Have you not smelled the sulfur as these monsters pass?
Old woodcuts of ancient gods, acts of bestiality.
The slide shows a table full of men drinking with demonic horned and winged figures.
Beware, the devil grew bold in the old days. He came as a swan or a bull. He called himself Zeus or Pancan. He made men hungry for the dark. Roman women often bared their buttocks to donkeys, inducing the beast to mount them. Juvenal the pagan tells us.
Satyrs, fauns, devils.
The slide shows images of satyrs and half-human, half-animals interacting with naked and almost naked humanoid figures. Some are growing their own horns.
Beware, careless souls. Satyrs, fawns, the devil still comes to tempt. Some weak souls fall. Pretending to sleep, they invite Lucifer and himself into their beds and find him beautiful. But when the woman sees the repulsive issue of that union, when the monster claws out between her legs, she is grateful for the kindness that ties her filthy body to the stake and burns it clean.
Giants, dwarves, gnomes, mermaids, hunchbacks, Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Batman Returns.
The slide shows images of mythical creatures. The creatures include mermaids, trolls, and giants.
Wise men of old times have condemned these offspring of the devil. Deformed and infirm children should be hidden away in a secret place, Plato tells us. Aristotle advises that they should not be fed.
The Penguin being thrown to his death.
The slide shows a picture of actor Danny DeVito as Penguin from the Batman Returns movie's death scene. Green liquid is pouring out of his mouth. He has scrapes and bruises and is in the action of falling.
Some monsters remain to warn us. If the soul is fouled, the body cannot escape. The monsters warn us. There is no injustice in the universe. Eileen Gardner, assistant in the Department of Education under Ronald Reagan, tells us the handicapped assume the lottery of life has penalized them at random. This is not so. Nothing comes to an individual that he has not summoned.
Beggars on the Street, 1940s.
The slide shows images of beggars from history and the 1940s.
Beware, careless souls. Mark the devil's easy entry into the world. This is why our earthly kings protect monsters at their feet.
17th century court dwarfs.
The great are tempted greatly, and so in their courts keep a grotesque reminder of the fate of those who, opening a door to darkness, carelessly pass through.
Painting of Eugenia in court dress.
The slide shows an image of Eugenia, a young girl in a red ball gown and red bows tied into her pigtails. Her facial expressions portray discomfort.
Imagine, if you will, early morning in Madrid, 1686. The sun is beginning to rise. Eugenia Martinez Vallejo, La Monstrua, awakens from her tiny wooden bed, couched among the beds of the court attendants in a small dusky room in the castle of the King of Spain.
We hear the sound of 17th century court music. Eugenia enters in court dress. She performs a slow, formal court dance over the following. Her lines are heard via voiceover.
I must rise and prepare for my posing. It is better to be in the court than on the streets begging for food scraps. I am not as feeble-minded as they make me out to be.
Today she will pose for the great painter Carreno, and what a pose it will be.
Today I will be Bacchus, the god of wine, the god of inspiration, the god of fertility.
And well-known god of drunken orgy, what better model could Carreno find? From the pharaohs of ancient Egypt, every court had its dwarf jester and advisor beauty, and beast infernal and divine.
Dwarfs represented in artwork.
The slide shows images of a group of people with small stature in a bar dancing and playing music.
I am not Bacchus, I am a woman.
But Carreno will paint her as a young boy. Men and women alike will take her on their laps. The erotic cult of the dwarf flourishes in 17th century Spain, France, Poland, and what's this?
Leah graph on J.P. Morgan's lap.
The slide shows a picture of a small stature woman sitting on an old man's lap in a room of men.
Little Leah Graff sitting on J.P. Morgan's lap at the Senate banking hearings in 1933? Did she represent the shrinking dollar, or was she the good luck token JP needed? Leah returned to her homeland in 1935. She was arrested as a useless person in 1937, sent to Auschwitz in 1944, and never heard from again. But let us return to a happier time.
Eugenia in court dress.
The slide goes back to the same woman of small stature. She is in a red ball gown and red bow ties into her pigtails. Her facial expressions portray discomfort. This time, the photo is in the middle of the slide, zoomed in to capture every detail.
Smile, Poquita, your portrait will live forever.
For a meal, a bed, and free-flowing wine, I will be Bacchus for you.
She takes off her robe of heavy brocade and steps out of her wooden sandals. Carreno gives her a crown of grape leaves for her head and a rose for her modesty.
In the slide, Eugenia is now nude with a plant to cover her lower region. She looks upset and is leaning discreetly on a block for support.
The nude Eugenia as Bacchus by Carreno.
Look at me as long as you like. You won't see me smile.
The lights go out on everything but the slide. The lights go up on Father John, who discards his monk's robe and puts on a sweat-stained, wrinkled jacket and an old straw hat to become the freak show Barker. He stands next to Eugenia, who is now Angie. In the slide, Eugenia, whom is now Angie, is nude with a plant to cover her lower region, but this time with a background of crowd in a circus, as if she is on display. Her face looks sad and pained.
Oh yeah, let's give a big hand to Little Princess Angie, highest paid little lady on the Midway. Just a sample of what we got here. Come and see them, folks. Come on and see. Strangest human beings in the world today. We got them all here, and they're all alive. Keep your eyes up here, and we'll bring them out to give you a sample. No laughter or rude remarks, Try not to be shocked at what, oh, here they come, here they come.
Sister Elizabeth, Andreas, and Wildman enter, wearing faded turn-of-the-century circus garb. They line up next to Angie.
Elizabeth, America's only living half lady, can't use her arms, can't use her legs. Why? Only God knows, folks. She was born that way. Next, you have Andreas, the legless acrobat. How does he do it? Come and see, come and see. And special tonight, we've got Zoltan the Wild Man, half beast. Hear those sounds? That's animal language. That's right. Don't be scared. That's animal talk straight out of the jungle. When's lunch? Back, wild man. You'll get your live chickens later. $2 to see him at feeding time. No pregnant women or children under 12 allowed. Come and see him. We got them all here.
Andreas takes the stage, striking a big presentational pose and displaying his well-developed upper torso.
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, before your very eyes, mighty Andreas, the world's eighth wonder and greatest legless acrobat, captured by pirates in the Gulf of Persia, thrown into the shark-infested Caribbean, and raised by reptiles in the Everglades. You've read his inspiring true life story. Now see the human wonder himself.
Andreas performs an acrobatic trick. He stands on his head with his legs still strapped to a beggar's board.
Hey!
Just a sample of what we got here. Ask questions, go ahead. Look as long as you want. Ask about anything. Let your mind wander. Don't feel guilty. You paid for the privilege. Want to peek backstage for a closer look?
Lights change to backstage. Angie is in a bathrobe, taking off her makeup. Joshua, a freak show spectator, sneaks in, holding a bottle of bourbon.
Angie? Angie?
Who's there?
It's me, Joshua. Haven't you seen me around? I've been here every night this week.
He holds up the bottle.
I thought you might like to have a drink with me.
Looks like you've had a few without me.
Yeah, I guess I have. I've been waiting for a while. It's good stuff. My grandpa made it. Here, try some.
Joshua, moving toward her, trips and falls. He holds the bottle up.
Didn't spill a drop. Maybe you could use me in the show.
We're all pros here. You're out of your league.
I'm a professional too.
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm a doctor.
I haven't met many doctors who operate out of a bottle. Where's your little black bag?
I left it in my office. This wasn't an official visit.
So you've been coming around every day since we've opened. Why?
Curious, just like everyone else, I guess.
Curious people come once and then talk about us for a month at dinner. You've got other reasons. Talk.
Sure, I've got more than a passing interest. I'm interested for medical reasons. What can be done to help prevent or cure these sorts of things?
You gonna put me on a rack and stretch me?
Sure, after I soak you in alcohol to loosen you up.
Angie, taking the bottle.
So that's what this is for.
Just to loosen your tongue, for now.
What do you want to know?
Why you put yourself on display? Allow yourself to be exploited like this.
I don't believe it. Another bleeding heart idiot. I was just starting to like you too. Maybe you should go.
I'm sorry if I offended you. Maybe I'm just a stupid hick from a small town, but I really don't understand.
Listen, smart boy, it's easy. We're always on display. You think that if I walked down the street of your stinking little nowhere town, people wouldn't stare at me? Damn right they would. And tell their neighbors and friends and talk about me over dinner and picnics and PTA meetings. Well, if they want to do that, they're going to have to pay me for that privilege. You want to stare at me? Fine. It's 25 cents, cash on the barrel. You want a picture? That's another quarter. My life story? Pay me. You think I'm being exploited? You pay to go to a basketball game or baseball game, don't you? What's the difference if you watch some big oaf hitting a ball with a stick or me pretending to be a princess?
You mean you're not?
She looks at him to see if he's serious. They both burst out laughing. He leans over and kisses her.
You always get fresh with your medical specimens?
You're not just any specimen.
He leans over to kiss her again. She ducks away.
You know, you're a pretty interesting specimen too. Mind if I examine you?
Go right ahead.
Stand up, close your eyes.
He complies, and she kicks him in the shin.
Ow!
Just checking your reflexes. Now close your eyes again. Don't worry, I'm not going to kick you.
She takes a pin out of her hair and starts poking him in the legs and buttocks.
Can you feel this? How about this? Stand still. This is important. Does this feel sharp?
Yes, yes. Ow, that's enough.
Not so much fun being on the receiving end, is it?
No, I guess not.
Come over here. I'm not finished yet.
I think I am.
Oh, don't be such a baby. I won't hurt you anymore. I promise. Come over and sit down, please.
She rubs his shoulders and neck.
Just relax there. Isn't that better?
Yes, much better.
You're a fascinating case. I want to examine you further. Don't worry. No more tricks. Here, have some medicine.
She tips the bottle to his mouth. She slowly unbuttons his shirt. He tries to reach for her, but she pushes his hands down.
I'm the doctor. I'll do the examining. I think you need more anesthesia.
She tips the bottle to his mouth. She puts her arms around him from behind and starts rubbing his chest.
Oh, yes. This is more serious than I thought.
She has him mesmerized. She reaches down and slips his wallet out of his pocket.
Yes, I'm afraid it's hopeless.
She gives him a long kiss, then runs off. He lies there for a second, then sits up. He sees that she's gone. Then he exits.
Telethon rehearsal.
The slide shows a sign that says rehearsal performance in progress, along with a picture of 2 rows of phones, and people review their scripts as a woman is being handed a phone by another woman sitting down in front of a phone. The woman in a wheelchair enters as the telethon guest, wearing a contemporary jacket. The telethon director is wearing a headset.
He's gonna love this. A few little touches and you're done.
He puts a bow in her hair. The man in a wheelchair enters as the telethon star. Telethon director speaking to telethon star.
Okay, it'll begin something like this. Music starts, then lights come up on the girl.
On me and the girl.
Exactly. Then you say,
Hello.
not you. He says, look at this, folks. Can you look at this?
Points to telethon guest.
Imagine what their daughter's disease has done to a wonderful, happy family. Please, don't let this happen to any more children.
Where's the family?
What?
Her family, mother, father, a nice looking normal mom and dad standing there crying. How could this happen to people like us? She can't just sit there looking like she got here on her own.
Well,
She did. She flew out here yesterday.
She doesn't even look like a kid.
Well, she's not actually.
I want a family. Get a family here, now.
They're in Cincinnati. That could get expensive. We've got a budget.
A family or you're fired.
Telethon star exits.
Excuse me, playing through.
A golf ball rolls onto the stage. Mother Nature enters with a woman of small stature as her angel caddy, carrying a golf bag.
Don't mind me, children. Carry on. Mother Nature's got a wicked lie here.
Mother Nature? Did you say mother? This is perfect. You're just who we're looking for. We need a mother.
Of course, who doesn't?
There won't be any salary, you understand, but it is for a wonderful cause. Heartbreaking, really. when you look at something like this?
Indicating telephone guest.
Yes, Las Vegas, geez. What was I thinking when I made it like this? It's one big sand trap.
To Angel Caddy.
Hand me the 7-iron.
I don't think you understand the tragedy that's going on here.
What tragedy? What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me.
What's happened to her?
Can't you tell?
Lovely girl, give her a kiss.
Telephone director gives telephone guest a peck on the cheek.
Don't you get it? We're trying to give her life.
She has life. Give her another kiss.
Another peck.
We're trying to save her from her fate. She doesn't deserve to be punished like this.
Have you been punishing her more than she deserves?
Not me, you. You're Mother Nature. Why did you make her like this?
I make them all kinds of ways.
Pointing to audience.
One's this way, another one's that way, and you're
Looking at him.
the way you are. Everyone's different.
But she'll never fit in like normal kids.
Fit into what? And what do you mean by normal?
Oh, come on. You think she'd choose to be that way?
Nobody has that choice.
She'll go through life scorned by others.
Whose fault is that? Not mine. No one's outside of nature. I have a really wide vocabulary, you know? I love variety in people, like I love the variety of colors in flowers and shapes in species. Don't insult my creativity by limiting your acceptance of human form.
To telephone guest.
I bet they've been listening to the old boy, haven't they? That's where they get all this crap about people not meeting minimum requirements. That egomaniacal son of a bitch thinks everyone's supposed to be made in his image. Well, I'll show you image.
She raises her arms to reveal 4 more arms. A Hindu goddess. God, offstage.
Are you gonna hit the golf ball or what?
Oh boy, here we go.
Drops the pose.
Look here. This is enough. I'm gonna have to call security here.
God enters. He has a beard, wears a gold crown, and carries a golf bag. The telephone director stands back in awe, falls to his knees.
Oh my God.
Thanks, my boy, and keep up the good work. I love what you're doing here. Nice suit, by the way.
Picks lint off telephone director's jacket.
Oh,
Looking at telephone guest,
poor thing.
turns to Mother Nature.
Nasty lie, Mother N. I'd use a wedge.
Give me the 6-iron.
Makes a lousy shot.
Should have used the wedge.
I wanted it to go there. I love to explore the rough.
It's out of bounds.
There's no out of bounds.
Typical female, always insisting they know better.
Mother Nature raising her club.
Why you imperious left brain power hungry son of a...
God taking the club away.
Come on now, Mother. We haven't got all day.
Yes, we have, dear boy. We most certainly have.
Mother Nature and Angel Caddy exit. God speaking to the telephone director.
Good work, son. Great work you're doing here. You're a real saint. Oh, bring my bag, would you?
God exits.
A saint. He said I'm a saint.
God offstage.
Did you hear me, son? Are you deaf?
Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir. I'm a saint.
The telephone director falls to his knees and kisses the hand of the telephone guest.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
He picks up God's golf bag and starts walking out.
I'm a saint.
The telephone director exits.
Hey, what about me?
Blackout.